Sorry.
Back
Hi,
in there.
Eliza. I didn't see you back there.
Thank you, Eliza. Testing 1,
So
2.
everybody say hi to your neighbor.
I think people can hear me now, yes?
Not yet.
No, not yet. It's coming. There it is. I hear. Okay. All right. Good morning. Welcome to First Parish in Brookline, a Unitarian Universalist congregation committed to being a safe and brave space for all who come through these doors. My name is Carla Bear. My pronouns are she and her, and I am your worship associate this morning. Our service will be led by Reverend Joe Cherry. Whether this is your first time here or you've been coming for decades, you are welcome here. If you are new, we extend a special welcome to you this morning. Please come say hello after the service. We would love to meet you. And for families, a special welcome and an alert that in the back of the sanctuary, near the door, is a wonderful collection of stuffed animals. And over here where the rocket ship used to be, which has now landed and crashed to Earth, but where the giraffe still stands, is a collection of arts and crafts activities, if that will be helpful for keeping yourself engaged. And that goes for all ages during the service. Immediately following our service, everyone is invited to our social hour here to my right, in the Peterson room. We have a few announcements this morning. If you take a look in your order of service, there's an insert, which I'm sure you have seen. On the back side of the insert is this summer's worship schedule. I think you all know that the summer services are held in Lyon. They start at 10 o'clock in the morning, not 11 o'clock. And the worship committee is really pleased to have recruited an all-star lineup of worship leaders. Some of the titles are still in the working stage, so they're not all here. But we invite you and would love for you to just put this on your refrigerator and join us every Sunday that you're in town. We look forward to it. On the calendar, the regular calendar part of the insert, we wanted to call your attention to a couple of things. On tomorrow, Monday, June 8th, the Program Council will meet. So we're hoping that every committee will have a representative who can attend that meeting. It will be an in-person meeting at 7 o'clock in Dana. It's an important meeting that will help do some important planning for next year. I also wanted to call attention to Friday, June 12th, is Parents' Night Out. And we are an increasingly intentional intergenerational congregation where different generations don't just sit next to each other. They engage with one another, learning and sharing with one another. Today's service is an example of that. Next Friday's Parents' Night Out is another example. We need a couple of more volunteers, would be great, to join Kay and others in entertaining the young people. So if you can be here from 5 to 8 on Friday, we'd love to have you join us and make the Parents' Night Out a real success. So parents can really have a night out, and their kids can have an exciting experience with others from our congregation. And their friends. Young people can invite their friends as well. And then finally, next Sunday is our final service of the year in the sanctuary. It is the final service being led by Reverend Joe before he departs to his new ministry in Flint, Michigan. And it will be our flower communion. Weather permitting, we'll start the service outside and then come inside. So it'll be both locations, only weather permitting. If it's going to be pouring rain, we'll do it all here. If it is good weather and we're able to have it outside, we would invite you to not only bring a flower, because we'll be exchanging flowers with one another, not only bring a flower, but also bring a chair. If that's not simple for you, we'll have the set of chairs, the folding chairs available, and you can come in and grab a chair and bring it out there, or ask someone to help you with that, so that we can have chairs out there. They won't be set up in advance, and it will be weather dependent. I think those are the... Oh, and after next Sunday's service, at the conclusion of the Flower Communion, we will be having a celebration and appreciation for Reverend Joe's service as interim minister here at First Parish for the past 3 years. So we hope you will join us after the service. There'll be cake and other food and some celebration and some, I won't give away the surprise because Reverend Joe's right here, but please join us. It will be a celebration in community. And so with that, we're set.
So I would encourage you to bring lawn chairs if you have them, because how often can you be that comfortable at church, right? So if you got them, bring them. As we come together this morning, let us remember, each of us, all of us, is forever becoming. There are transitions in life that arrive with ceremony. Graduations, like the one that happened yesterday in my hometown, the park we walked the dog, got completely taken over by all these high school kids graduating and their parents. There was nowhere to park in the village. Glad I had a driveway. It was great. There are new jobs, there are new homes, there are new callings. And then there are the quieter crossings, the almost unnoticed moments in which we become someone slightly different than we were before. A little wiser, a little braver, a little more ourselves. This morning we gather to honor these moments of becoming. We gather to celebrate thresholds and new beginnings and the courage it takes to step forward. And in doing so, we celebrate the holiness found not only in life's grand occasions, but in the sacred, ordinary journey of becoming fully human. Please rise in body and spirit to come together to sing our opening hymn, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire, which is in your hymnal or up on the wall.
In the spirit of intentional intergenerational worship, I invite our longtime member Susan Larrabee and newcomer Will Meese to jointly light our chalice this morning. And I invite you to share the chalice lighting with me.
Good morning, everyone. As Carla has reminded us, our gathering together, young and old, is a wondrous thing. People of many beliefs and ages bring their different stories, and our listening to one another challenges and changes us. Today, we are honoring Cedar Alcott and Liv Day, our high school seniors, who have shared their stories and faith paths with us over the years. We know whether they're headed across the country to Boulder, Colorado, or just down the street to Franklin, Massachusetts, that they will always remain in the hearts of this community, and that our relationship to them changes as they bridge into adulthood. In this ceremony, we offer each youth a unique blessing based on who they are and what they hope for as they move on in their journey. To bless one another is to acknowledge the good and the holy in each person. Today, Reverend Joe will hand our seniors a little gift, a chalice necklace from the community, so that they can carry the flame of this community with them in all their travels. Reverend Joe will also present them with a gift from First Parish, a personalized book of sacred texts, with poems, well wishes, and readings selected by family and adults from First Parish that these youth identified as having formed a special connection with over their many years here. Liv, I invite you forward now to receive your blessing. Reverend Joe, I invite you to stand on the other side of the bridge to welcome Liv. I want to recognize today that Cedar Alcott, due to a change in scheduling, has to be at the high school for her other bridging, her high school graduation. We're going to read out her blessing here and welcome her spirit. We know that she is bridging in another special way, and we honor that. I'm going to start with Cedar's blessing. Cedar, you've taught us that the bravest thing a person can do is turn towards themselves with honesty and love, embracing what is tender and vulnerable. Blessed are you who has moved through difficulty with loyalty and grace and emerged more radiantly yourself each time. We pray that the mountains hold you the way you've held others, steadily and without condition, and that your curiosity lights up every classroom, every trail, and every open sky you meet. Liv, you have shown us that resilience comes from interdependence, and you make us all more resilient with your presence. Blessed are you who has learned to be as gentle and compassionate as you are fierce and strong. We pray that your voice reaches many ears in many lands, and that the music of this community reminds you that you are never singing alone. I invite you to cross this bridge and receive your gifts. And now, would the congregation join us in reading together the collective blessing written in your order of service? We bless you, recognizing the good in each of you. We give thanks for the ways you've supported and challenged this religious community. We delight in who you've been, and we are eager to know who you will become. Our ceremony is complete. Let us rise in singing our children out to their religious exploration classes.
Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with the trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he'd begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quit it, he started to sing as he tackled that thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that will assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just start in to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it.
Thank you, choir. This blessing has been waiting for you for a long time. While you have been making your way here, this blessing has been gathering itself, making ready, biding its time, praying. This blessing has been polishing the door, oiling the hinges, sweeping the steps, lighting candles in the windows. This blessing has been setting the table as it hums a tune from an old song it knows, something about a spiraling road and bread and grace. All this time, it has kept an eye on the horizon, watching, keeping vigil, hardly aware of how it was leaning itself in your direction. And now that you are here, this blessing can hardly believe its good fortune, that you have finally arrived, that it can drop everything at last to fling its arms wide to you, crying, "Welcome, welcome, welcome." This is the time in our service when we invite your generosity to help pay for the good work of this community of faith and hope. Our offering will now be gratefully received.
Good morning. My name is Sarah Hansen, she, her. I'm a member of the Parish Board. And on behalf of the board, we want to thank you for your generosity in providing these gifts to further the work of this congregation. We see this as a symbol not only of your trust in the board to responsibly use these gifts, but also as a symbol of the love that you feel for the community both within and beyond First Parish. Thank you.
There is something deeply hopeful about a bridge. Human beings do not build bridges accidentally. We build them because something stands in the way. A river, a gorge, a distance too dangerous or too inconvenient to cross alone. And somewhere, at some point, a group of human beings looked at that obstacle and decided, there should be a way through this. There should be a way through this. A bridge is an act of collective trust. Most of us cross bridges every day without thinking much about them. We drive across steel and concrete, trusting people we will never meet. Engineers, construction workers, inspectors, welders, maintenance crews, the people who salted the roads in winter and prepared the cracks after the storms. We place our lives quite literally into structures built by strangers. And perhaps that is one of the quiet truths of adulthood that takes us a long time to learn. None of us actually crosses life alone. Despite the stories of our culture who they like to tell us about rugged individualism and self-sufficiency, human life has always depended upon invisible networks of care and trust. Someone taught us to read. Someone taught us to read music. Someone stocked the grocery shelves. Someone built the roads. Someone sat beside us in grief. Someone encouraged us when we doubted ourselves. Someone held us up when we could not hold ourselves up alone. Congregations are like that too. A congregation is, among many other things, a bridge people build together so that others may cross safely. Not perfectly, not without repairs, not without arguments about budgets and timing and what color the carpet might be, but still, together, we make passage possible. We create spaces where children become adults, where strangers become friends, where grief becomes survivable, where questions become welcome, where people are reminded that they are not alone. And perhaps that's why moments like today matter, because today is in part about thresholds. We love thresholds as human beings. We mark them with ceremonies and photographs and special clothes and receptions downstairs and sheet cake. Graduations, weddings, ordinations, retirements, new homes, new jobs. Thresholds matter because they help us recognize that life is changing. And in fact, life is change. But thresholds and bridges are not the same thing. A threshold is a moment. A bridge is a process. You can cross a threshold in seconds. A bridge afterward may take years. A diploma is a threshold. Becoming an adult is a bridge. Signing moving papers is a threshold. Learning how to make a new place feel like home is a bridge. Retirement is a threshold I one day hope to see. Learning who you are in retirement is a bridge. And if we are fortunate enough to live long lives, there are still more thresholds waiting for us. In recent months, some of us have crossed difficult and tender thresholds, leaving homes filled with decades of memory and moving into senior apartments or assisted living communities, or building an addition to our house so our grandchildren can buy the house and we can live next door, tucked up under. We do not talk about these transitions very often in our culture, perhaps because they don't fit neatly into our stories about independence and success and achievement. And yet, these crossings are profoundly human ones. To leave behind a home, to decide what possessions can be carried forward and what must be released, to learn new hallways and new neighbors, new routines. There is courage in that, deep courage. Not the loud courage of conquest, but the quieter courage of adaptation, the courage to keep becoming. And perhaps this is one of the hardest truths about bridges. You cannot cross one while remaining fully on the shore you came from. At some point, you must step out over the space in between. That in-between space is where many of us spend more time than we like to think about. Not where we were, not yet where we will be. Graduates know this feeling. Parents know this feeling. People changing careers know this feeling. People grieving know this feeling. Congregations in transition know this feeling too. There is a vulnerable moment in every crossing where the old ground is behind you, but the new ground has not yet appeared beneath your feet. And yet, bridges exist because remaining where we were is no longer possible. Life keeps calling us forward. Not always dramatically, not always eagerly do we go. Sometimes we go reluctantly, sometimes fearfully, sometimes carrying more uncertainty than confidence, but still forward. And perhaps we should say this clearly, because the world often confuses courage with certainty. Crossing a bridge does not mean that you are no longer afraid. Very often, courage looks exactly like fear that has decided to keep moving. A graduate filling out applications while quietly wondering if they are ready. A parent standing in an empty bedroom doorway after move-in day. A retiree trying to discover who they are without the routines that shape decades of life. A person walking into physical therapy after surgery. Someone learning the layout of a senior apartment after leaving the home where they raised their children. These are not failures of courage. These are courage. And perhaps that is one of the holiest things about bridges. They require motion even when certainty is impossible. No one ever sees the entire journey from the first step. We move forward piece by piece, one foot in front of the other, sometimes confidently, sometimes trembling, sometimes carrying grief in one hand and hope in the other. And if we are wise, we remember that bridges offer us something else as well: perspective. When you're standing on solid ground, your vision is often limited by what surrounds you: trees, buildings, hillsides, familiar routines, familiar assumptions. But bridges lift us. And from the bridge, if we are brave enough to pause for a moment and look around, we may suddenly see vistas that were invisible before. We may see how far we've already come. We may see connections we never noticed from the shoreline. We may glimpse possibilities that could only become visible from the middle of the crossing itself. Sometimes only distance reveals shape. Sometimes only transition reveals gratitude. Sometimes only uncertainty teaches us what truly matters. And so perhaps Part of wisdom is learning not merely to endure the crossing, rushing anxiously to the far shore, but to remain awake while we're still on the bridge, to notice the changing light, to notice who walks beside us, to notice the beauty we could not have seen from where we began. Because while no one would choose every transition life places before them, some of the clearest views of our lives arrive only when we are suspended between what was and what will be. And the good news, the sacred news, is that we do not have to make these crossings alone. We are held by one another, held by memory, held by community, held by the accumulated wisdom and care of people who walked before us and people who walk beside us now. And perhaps this is the real purpose of a congregation, not to prevent change, not to keep life frozen and safe and familiar forever, but to remind one another again and again, when the threshold comes, when the bridge stretches out before us, when the far shore cannot yet be seen clearly, we are still capable of crossing together. As we prepare to sing our closing hymn today, I want to invite you to consider something. If you are a person who's had a big transition this year in your life, in health or residence or job or anything, while we're singing, think about joining us as we cross the bridge together. If you're worried about safety on the bridge, I'll be able to take your hand. So I invite you to consider that when we sing Lead with Love with Gusto, rising in body and spirit as you're able. Do you want to say anything, sir?
Good morning. This is a hymn that is going to be very familiar to many of you, as you have heard our youth choir, led by Chiara Zani, sing this multiple times over the last couple of years. It is a call and response, so you're going to hear the choir sing some phrases, which I'm going to invite you to repeat back, and this opening part is our refrain, which we will all sing together. If you don't know it right away, you're going to know it really quickly. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Will Meese and Susan Larrabee will extinguish the chalice. Please join me in our unison affirmation. Apagamos este
May you go forth from this place remembering the thresholds of our lives are rarely crossed alone. Long before we arrive at the bridge, someone else has already begun building a way forward for us with love, with labor, with sacrifice, and with hope. And now, in turn, may we become bridge builders for one another. May we offer courage to those who are frightened, companionship to those who feel alone, patience to those still finding their footing, and trust enough to believe that difficult crossings are still possible. When the path ahead seems uncertain, may you remember that the things we declared impossible have been accomplished with one careful step at a time. And when you find yourself standing in the middle of a bridge between what was and what will be, may you pause long enough to notice the beauty around you, the people beside you, and the strength within you. For none of us makes this journey alone. We belong to one another. And together, by courage and compassion, by memory and hope, we help carry each other home. Go in peace. Amen.